Party for National Development, feel neglected by those in government and the party top leadership. Some UPND youths in the south of Makundanga has taken to the street expressing the anger while accusing among them UPND chief executive officer Vatuke Imenga, local government minister Garin Kombo, of having failed them. The angry UPND youth says the party is slowly dying due to the alleged selfishness by those in power and the management of the party. They have cited this recent defeat in the Ilongwa by-election to the opposition, PF, as the best example to demise of the UPND.
Branch iliyose amene bapeza iliombeni bafala ma branch bafunza ati ndiwe chairman wa chani bati bayibala kuti cha chipani na ma branch ndiye yamene analengesa kuti baitaniwa ati ni ba minister pali manja so tita ndaura pali bagali nkombo mupando wabu chairman for wa my election ngabakangirwa bashterizaini senior bali kabana fara bagali nkombo sibafuna ma structure bati mapati yanangaya baPF bali organize ma branch yabo na mapati yasebenza bati chipani cha UPND chambira cha district kwenda pamamba kuyambira constituency kupofika pa branch chipani lichokufa Pemba tushita piu kuli ba president ngabambera tufuna chipani batupezereko power tiyambe kusebenza kululinga 5 years twakana hata yuti ine mazina yanga ndine mwansa jiminya Kelvin tulina madandauro yamene yarengesa kuti mayuthi bonse apa babwere apa ni madandauro che yangono. The system which our party is using is very poor. Tadabu as a mayuthi from the time pamene tinawina patakwanisa 1 year and some months or na 1 year. So chintu chamene charengesa kuti tibwere pano is a surprise that by election ya kuchani ya kuruanga tinaita chani tinaruza ni chani chamene charengesa. The grassroots is very rotten. Tayanga na kuti oro tiende kuruangwa oro within our chana our sales munonga kanyama kupezeka kuti machani ma structures na ma branches yose yanaonongeka because of the same Gary Kombo who is saying pamene mwapeza ma offices ya UPND yose ndikuga mwe avare no yapenta pamene yafunika kukalira. Number 2 chamene cha creator pa ni embarrassment ya ba president. The issue which happened in Kukabushi when the president was on his stage. My question in Yakuti Nanga Ifunso Yanga Yakuti. But president then in a court vasevenza branch. There is no need ya kuti president at the stage then kujandira kuti barulinga kuti leka pamene uchita choka pa stage. That was embarrassment ya ndani ya president. Titandaura kuti kokola.
Meanwhile, former Luanshya Central Member of Parliament Steve Chungu says the UPND government should not be misled by some of its loyalities pretending that things are in the country. Mr. Chungu says has charged that President Hakainde Hichilema should know that no government has ever been guided well by the press-singers as they do not represent the majority Zambians. Speaking during a media briefing, Mr. Chungu says by not listening to the cries of the people on the premises they met through of the elections, the UPND government is losing plurality from the majority Zambians.
And there's a history to this. Party loyalists have always misled governments. If you remember in the UNIP days, Dr. Kaunda was misled by his party loyalists that everything was well before 1991. He lost the elections. Our uncle FTJ, President Chiluba, was misled by the party loyalists that people were happy with the third term bid. He lost the elections. We came into our grandfather, the late Arabi, the loyalists again misled him that all was well for him. we came into the previous elections of 2021 August, it was the same party loyalists that misled President Lungu that all was well. And today, we are still going through the same thing where you hear of praise singers telling the president that all is well. Who doesn't know that every Zambian today is going through hardships? Even them, those that are doing that, misleading the head of state, that all is well, the UPND is loved by the people. It is not true. Because each and every home today in Zambia is going through the same problems. There's no special shop that belongs to the UPND where commodity prices are cheaper than any other shops. All Zambians troop to the same shops. They go to ShopRite, they go to the shops in our townships where Milli is selling at 170, 175, 180, or cooking oil is selling at 230, 240, 250. So there's no shop that is selling our essential commodities at special prices for those by singers. Behind the scene, they're complaining. But I'm just appealing to President Ejesh to open his ears and listen more. If they are going to continue with shooting down the critics, then it will be the same story in 2026 where people will be asking for change again. Because the moment people stop talking, that is a sign that they are not happy. And now, 11 months into the administration of the UPND, the Zambian people have gone quiet because of the non-performance.
Chief Mulilo, Chief Dominant Chairman of Eastern Province. More than 1,300 Kwachi residents are sharing one borehole, which has first added villagers to draw water from the swamps. Richard Simbaya filled in this report.
More than 8 kilometers to access water from the stream. The same water they share with animals.
Jitata ya tukumwaise kuti muyaone mungamwamuha mupokera kakapu matinpaniko maji kone mungamwamo ya maji tukumwaise maji anja doti hapa sona hapa wila ya kwenda na nkongono yai ole ya kwenda mvula mula yozula ya kwenda huku wawasha kuzulu kula wali muntu hafila mdambo yai watamo chivichi mdambo ise tukumwa tije kwa kumwa maji tiliji yai
maji mdambo muliviko tuyatu mwamoso maji mabohoyo se atatu ya inangika vina.
MP for Chama North attest to this.
Maji ya Shilatomene, Chama North constituency yose. Wandu witu wa kumwa maji pamoja na vinyama. Olo mboma mula pa mapita pa nyengo hino wandu wanandi wachanguzuzika zimai wonya kumakere wonya mka 0102 hours mwita pa maji. Kuma 1964 chila chozomelezeka cha.
He further says the plans of government over the water shortage in the area.
Ya maji, kifuka nalama zinandi za CDF mwaka za 2022 tipeka huti, tipeka kumaji, tukutoneka makola ya kuti muzimai, mpeo pita kudambo kuleta pamaji, mpea mwina usabichi, mpea banjuwichi waliwa na mwina kwa tumaboho stilije cha.
If the situation will not be looked at, it means people will continue walking long distances to go and fetch water in the stream. Richard Simbaya reporting for MUVI TV News, Chama North, Eastern Province.
Who have been holding a certain protest at the Zambia Agency for Persons with Disability headquarters in Lusaka for an open dumpster in the showgrounds. A check by MUVI TV Saturday night in the showgrounds revealed that others were nursing injuries as a result of the struggle with the police. The group alleged that the police officers joined hands with other real persons with disabilities to possibly load them onto the bus and track and dump them into the showgrounds. The group has been demanding the return of Zapid Acting Director General Nicholas Ngoma, who was moved to the Ministry of Community Development and Social Service. An investigation into alleged illegal scale of the institution's mukula trees in its forms and an address from President Hakainde Hichilema. However, other persons with disabilities, including human rights activist John Chiti and the Minister of Community Development and Social Service Doreen Mambek, have labeled a group to stay at Zapid as illegal.
Police officers Saturday afternoon swung into action to remove some persons with disabilities that have been holding a sitting protest at the Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities, ZAPID. The protest came to an abrupt end Saturday afternoon as police officers had to apply force to uproot the protesters from the agency.
akwera motoka ya bwanji mubasi mubasi
The protesters were loaded in a bus and a truck headed to the showgrounds where they were dumped. Saturday night, MUVI TV News went to the scene and discovered that the protesters were dumped at the paramilitary facility in the showgrounds, and the officers here expressed ignorance on the presence of the protesters who were occupying horse shelters, with some injured. Speaking to MUVI TV News, the protesters have expressed disappointment by what they term lack of attention from the head of state, who could not support their cause to fight injustice at ZAPID.
So inefo ningalanda fe kustapi ku government pantu ine kwena chachi ninga chakwatwa president na baitambei kwena ni corruption bachitira kubatuntulu kuri fwe bale manata kuri pantu ngani kubatuntulu ba his excellency ngana be makale but bale bosha bakapokola okwisa mukwikata bale mana okulayimya abana mayo obwamba bakateka twapapa sana abantu abali against na imwe balefu okumisebanya bantu abali ekitefye po twambira okuyirishanya bakateka tatwamfapo voice yenu.
As always, the protesters have vowed to die for their cause.
As long as nachoka pano paziko na chishinka changa naenda kumwamba zoona nimenyera nkondo amene akalibobadwa.
And a check by MUVI TV Sunday afternoon discovered that the protesters were still in the showgrounds, however, making plans to return to ZAPID as the paramilitary facility they were occupying is a private property. It remains to be seen if this is the end of the infamous ZAPID standoff that has paralyzed the institution for more than a month now. For MUVI TV News, I'm Kaptula Afias in
A Catholic priest of Lusaka's Kalingalinga parish has called on the congregants to be honest and truthful to each other. Preaching during the church service on Sunday morning, Father Boniface Mwika noted with concern that the rich have become more richer and the poor poorer. The priest has advised those in authority to work for the people and not to enrich themselves. Father Mwika says that God blesses those who serve in different positions for a purpose and not to abuse their positions. He further called on the society to pray for one another.
The rich were becoming more richer. Poor were becoming. In the midst of all this, you and I have to be honest. Those who were in charge of the resources of the people misused them. They forgot why they were in those positions in the first place. Why God allowed them to be in charge in the first place. And so the prophet Amos goes on and makes a prophecy and talks and counterreact to what these people who are in high positions did with the resources of the many leaders usually attempted to forget why they are in those positions. Many of us leaders tend to forget why we are in those positions. In our small Christian communities, in our societies, here in the parish, in the nation, of the world at large. Have we ever wondered and asked ourselves why in the first place you were in charge? This was a major blow or the problem amongst the people during the time of arms, where they, the leaders, they fattened themselves, we are told, by trampling down upon the poor, by trampling down upon the needy. They stole from the poor, from the nation, from the needy, with their kind of policies that they established at that time. Where is their honest in this? And they say, we may buy the poor with silver, using the poor to get what they needed. And this we see in our daily lives, in our societies, in the world today, where policies are made to benefit those who are in charge. Have you ever wondered that on those committees that make policies, no poor man is represented? We are never there. In short, we are never part and parcel of their agenda. Do you think that the policies that will be made on those committees are going to benefit the poor? Not at all. Because you are never there. No poor person is part of that committee. He is behaving like some of the leaders we see nowadays, like some of those in charge. But they can only reduce themselves to our level, to the level of the poor, when time catches up with them. We see that they can only reduce the speed of their vehicles when it is time for elections. They move up and down in their tinted vehicles. They can't even wave at you because you don't exist until that time. Like this dishonest servant we have heard in today's gospel. Until that very time, that's when he said, now calling his fellow workers, come here. Let us discuss. Let us talk. The question is, where were you? Or
We still have more news and updates coming around throughout the country. For now, we take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
How to use your home Airtel Money wallet when traveling across Africa. Step 1. Get used to a new place. Step 2. Learn the language and culture. Step 3. Pay your bills in a foreign country using your home Airtel Money wallet. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Falcon Express, Zambia's most reliable courier. Our services cut across the board with special packages for SMEs, corporate, and individuals. We offer countrywide courier from as low as 40 kwacha. No need for app downloads. Simply call 0971 130766 or email info@falconexpresszm.com and we will be at your doorstep. Falcon Express, professional, friendly, and reliable.
Thank you for staying tuned. To continue with the news, Nalolo Member of Parliament Imanga Wamunime has called on the government to double its efforts in creating an environment suitable for a youth to thrive. Mr. Wamunime says recruitment alone but the government should create a general conducive environment where youth can express themselves and discover their potential. He was speaking in an interview with the MUVI TV News. City Council.
It is to give the necessary support to youths since this inaugural SDG Summit is the first of its kind in this country. Therefore, youth participation in governance matters. At all levels, government must set a serious agenda and must be more practical, because now, the hosting of the summit reinforces the reality that we have youths that are capable of doing other tasks. So youth need support in sectors that are not as general as general recruitment. They need more support in terms of hearing their plight, at a general perspective.
Quito City Council has received 3,800,000 kwacha from the National Road Fund Agency for the year 2022 for the maintenance of various township roads across the city. Some of the roads include an Independence Road, Old Airport Road in Ndeke, Jambo Drive, Chiwala Road, Kwamboka Kwacha Road, Nyerere Road, and Namakambala Road in Ndeke, Kantanta Kanwa in Bushi Township. Quito City Council Public Relations Manager Mwaka Nakwete says the scope of work on these roads will include potholes, patching and road markings as part of sport improvements, and Ms. Nakwati adds that through the local government equalization fund, the council has engaged also a contractor to install solar street lights on the Chisokone one-way, Mutuka Avenue and Kingston roads. She says the street lights will improve security for Chisokone traders and will extend the trading hours. The street light workers have commended and said to be completed by mid-October 2023.
The City Council has received 3.8 million kwacha from the National Road Fund Agency for the year 2022 for the maintenance of various township roads across the city, and these will include Independence Road, Old Airport Road, Nakambala Road, Kantanta, and many other roads across the city. You would also be interested to note that the local authority, through the Copperbelt Energy Corporation, has embarked on routine road maintenance and installation of solar streetlights on Quito's Central Street. The works have been necessitated to improve both the status of the road as well as to improve visibility, especially at night. I would like to confirm that pothole patching has since been completed and will soon move into phase 2, which will be the installation of the solar streetlights. In the same vein, using the local government equalization fund as a local authority, we have engaged a contractor to install solar lights on the Chisokone one-way, Matuka Avenue, as well as Kingston roads. The lights will improve security for our Chisokone traders, but other than that, it will also extend the operating hours. The local authority, also using equalization fund, will embark on various projects in the city, and these will include the rehabilitation of the Council City Square Clinic, as well as procurement of skip bins for the enhancement of solid waste management, among other projects that are going to be conducted. On the other hand, the local authority has also pumped in 2 million kwacha from locally sourced funds for the procurement of pothole patching materials and other amenities. Our call to members of the public is to be patient with the local authority, even as we are conducting the routine road maintenance. Obviously, we cannot be in all the places at the same time, but the local authority will indeed move in to ensure that the status of the roads has been improved. And also, as you approach these maintenance zones, we just call upon you to ensure that you follow the signs and signals that have been mounted for your own safety.
Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, working with the Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA, has urged cooperators on small-scale enterprise to have their businesses formalized in order to benefit from the tax various incentives. Speaking during the stakeholders engagement workshop held in Chilanga District Commissioner David Shaleni stated that government places premium emphasis on entrepreneurship and business growth as the key drivers to sustainable economic development. Mr. Shaleni says cooperatives and SMEs are partners to government in employment creation and food sustainability at every level. And ZRA Tax Player Education Manager says there has been an influx of cooperatives and SMEs with little or no understanding in taxation. More in the following.
Placed much emphasis on cooperatives and small and medium enterprises, SMEs, as conduits for channeling community-based development. Speaking during the stakeholders engagement workshop for cooperatives and SMEs held in Chilanga, Chilanga District Commissioner David Shellen noted that the district has more than 400 cooperatives and 300 SMEs, which, if harnessed well, can turn around the economic posture of the district.
You are the engine of community transformation and growth, and this is the more reason why the government has identified you as best entry points to community change and development. As the interface between government and the community, it's important that us, gathered here today, become the agents of change and start taking cooperatives and SBs activities seriously. The new Dawn government means well to the people of Zambia. The change we wanted is here, and so far, processes and modalities have been put in place for the growth and development of cooperatives.
And Zambia Revenue Authority Taxpayers Education Manager says the objective of the stakeholders engagement was to acquaint cooperatives and SMEs on the tax incentives which can be enjoyed from government if they formalize their businesses.
We came here to ensure that their cooperative are registered with the correct tax type and they understand the obligation of submitting their returns on time. They understand how their cooperatives are taxed. At the same time, we went further to ensure that the SMEs, all of them, they are registered and they comply to the tax regulations.
Grace Sinkamba, a cooperative member, thanked the facilitators for the timely and valuable information shared.
Very good presentation from Zambia Revenue Authority, what they are telling us, there are various taxes that are available that the law in Zambia provides, and where the cooperatives are able to benefit from tax exemptions, zero-rated taxes, and how it is that we can, as we are designing our products, whatever it is that we are doing as cooperatives, where we can be able to make a more meaningful contribution.
Dorcas Kawiyachaba reporting.
Due to CAM Health Councillor at the Zambia High Commission on India, Professor Victor Mukonga says Zambia is exploring perspective of settling up a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant. We have more to come and of course more in the story after this commercial break. We'll be right back.
OneXBet, reliable bookmaker with high odds, wide selection on events, and bonuses for every taste. OneXBet is use is a win. Register with promo code and get a huge welcome bonus on your first deposit.
Are you at home and want an easier and faster way to access and manage your Airtel account? Download the My Airtel app from your app store. Open the app, enter your phone number, click on Request OTP, enter your one-time PIN, and congratulations! You can now use the My Airtel app to top up, pay bills, send money, and much more. Be smart, be safe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
To continue with the news, Health Councillor at the Zambia High Commission in India, Professor Victor Mukonga, says Zambia is exploring prospects of settling up a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant which will ensure the availability of drugs in health institutions at a reduced cost. Speaking after having a meeting with BLK Max Super Specialist Hospital Management, Professor Mukonga says India is a giant and very strategic partner to Zambia in health diplomacy. He says one of the targets of the mission in India is to ensure that Zambia taps from the Indian skills and build capacity, which will lead to, among others things, the establishment of centers of excellency to improve healthcare and reduce patients' referrals abroad. He also says that the other focus is to link the training institutions in Zambia to India through exchange programs and some of the joint lectures and teaching programs for Zambian medical students, both undergraduate and postgraduates. And BLK Max Super Specialist Hospital Senior Vice President Sanjay Mekka said the hospital is open to close collaboration with Zambia as the case is with other African countries and is looking forward to the formulation of an MOU with Zambia. Dr. Mehta says his hospital is the leading private health facility in New Delhi and offers a wide range of specialized services, and it has been receiving patients from Zambia, most of whom have gone back to give testimonies of its high levels of professionalism and expertise. This is contained in a statement issued to MUVI TV News by First Secretary Press at the Zambia High Commission to India, New Delhi, India, Beni Mudando. The Ministry of Agriculture in Chibondo District has advised the farmers to use integrated pest management in combating fall armyworms. Speaking during a rollout training for agricultural camp, extension officers in Lesotho with funding from food and agriculture organizations of the United Nations in the Zambia government, acting probe husbandry officer Oscar Mlamfu says farmers should respond to ways of combating pests at their disposal.
Advise farmers to use integrated pest management in combating fall armyworms. Speaking during a rollout training for agricultural camp extension officers in Lesotho with funding from Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations and the Zambian government, acting crop husbandry officer Oscar Mulamfu says farmers should resort to ways of combating pests at their disposal.
We have to practice more of the integrated pest management, meaning most of the things which they can use the farmers themselves using hands, it will be cost saving. Integrated pest management is a combination of different methods fighting against the pests, the management. Starting with like e.g. weeding, the fields should be clean, cultural, mechanical, chemical, and other things. Meaning that all makes the integrated pest management not only one control but different types of control.
And Lesotho Bridge Camp Agricultural Extension Officer Geoffrey Namakando says most fields in his agricultural camp are attacked by fall armyworms because farmers do not practice crop rotation.
Rotation is the best way to start combating the problem of fall armyworm. If we leave the crops we leave the fields to just a single crop all the time, we are developing the infestation because there will be laying eggs just there. The following year, again where they put maize, if they repeat, infestation will always go high.
According to the Indaba Agricultural Policy Research Institute, early detection of pests is cardinal in combating outbreaks and averting full-fledged pest attack. Sebastian Mtefura, Nais.
Residents of Chivombo district of Chief Lieutenant Chiefdom in Central Province have called on government to improve schools in the area. Speaking in an interview with MUVI TV News in Chivombo District Ward Development Committee member Rachel Kapita disclosed that the number of pupils who have enrolled in schools due to the introduction of free education have increased, and hence the need to improve the schools in the area. She further says that many schools in the area does not have desks and lack learning materials, making it difficult for the teachers to do their work smoothly.
Sustainable development goals include a commitment to ensure that all young people have access to good quality primary and lower secondary education by 2030. The goals include a pledge that no one will be left behind, and reaching these goals will require improved educational quality for the most disadvantaged children from the earliest years. In Zambia, government has been doing everything they can to make sure that no one is left behind, and this has been shown by the introduction of free education from early childhood to secondary level. But despite this, access to good and conducive inclusive learning environment has not yet been achieved, especially in rural areas, as many school children meet under trees or in dilapidated, overcrowded structures without running water, toilets, or electricity. And now, residents of Chivombo district of Chief Liteta Chiefdom in Central Province have called on governments to improve schools in the area. Speaking in an interview with MUVI TV News in Chivombo district, Ward Development Committee member Rachel Kapuita disclosed that the number of pupils who have enrolled in schools have increased. Hence, there needs to improve schools in the area.
Maskulu madesks vana vapaka ma classes ya chepa then kufika kuti batimangileko ma classes yena then na ma classes vana vakala chepans achitabu ino maningi kuchita introduce free education then vana vambili vaboyera ku school manje na desks na ma classes ya chepa upesi kati mu class mozi ndi vana 110 120 95 ni ndiye lowest. So hiyo ayonje ma challenges yakulu yamene naona munga kumugulele.
However, it is clear that education system requires urgent reform. To date, governments, schools and teachers have tended to focus on more advantaged-able children, and for systems to close education inequalities, they must focus on the needs of more disadvantaged children. Margaret Chota, MUVI TV News in Chivombo District.
Milenga Town Council in Milenga District has started carrying out maintenance works on Milenge Kansanka Road, and Milenga Town Council Chairperson Clement Miller says over 100,000 of equalization fund has been allocated to the project. Mr. Miller adds that the move is aimed at rehabilitating the most damaged parts of the road. On that note, we take our last of commercial state and we'll be right back for more stories. Stay tuned.
Now experience 4G speeds on your 3G device with the Airtel 4G Pocket Wi-Fi.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. And now with the rest of the news. Center for Environment Justice has observed that Zambia's environmental protection agenda can only succeed in traditional leaders and embrace because they own over 60% customary land. CEJ Board Chairperson Vincent Zimba revealed that CEJ has since set a special caucus for traditional leaders to brainstorm ideas on environmental protection outside event during the 2022 Environmental Protection Dialogue. And meanwhile, Mr. Zimba recalled that since its analog dialogue in 2020, the EDP had become an important environmental calendar event of the year in Zambia. He underscored that the theme, Strong Actions for Environmental Sustainability, would seek to strengthen the Environmental Protection Fund and mitigation climate crisis. Mr. Zimba pointed out that ECJ is in conjunction with the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment was calling on stakeholders to identify lasting solutions to strengthen the Environmental Protection Fund and mitigation the climate crisis.
The way we have designed it, it's going to have three side events where the traditional leaders on their own will have an opportunity to discuss as traditional leaders. As you know, most of the land in this country is under customary rule with the traditional leadership, which means a lot of environmental issues are of great concern on customary land and brings in the picture of traditional leaders as the major stakeholders. So they need to be given an opportunity to brainstorm around the issues of environment in their own understanding and what kind of challenges and opportunities they see forth
Chinika Ward 11, Ward Councillor Masao Supiri has called on the residents of Kanyama community to stop the indiscriminating disposal of waste as the act has potential to bring disease to the community. Mr. Supiri says the council will however continue to remove uncollected waste, but that members of the community should equally do their part of making sure waste is disposed is done correctly. Meanwhile, People's Process of Housing and Poverty Coordinator Melaine Chiwa says stakeholders and government should take the climate issue seriously as it has potential to negatively affect the country's economy where food security is concerned, as a change in rain patterns has a huge threat on agriculture. The deal was speaking during this year's Ward Cleanup Day campaign in Kanyama, where the council, in partnership with other stakeholders, managed to remove garbage which had remained uncollected for a long time. Government has reiterated its commitment to support vulnerable farmers under Farmers Input Support Program FISA in Kapirim Portia District of Central. In a telephone interview, District Commissioner Francis Hasalana says the distribution of farming inputs has delayed in the district because government wants farming inputs to reach its intended beneficiaries. Mr. Hasalana says the government in the district is cleaning the system to ensure that farmers who are not in formal employment and new registered cooperators benefit through government programs. He adds that this year's government intends to distribute inputs to individual farmers and not cooperatives to promote transparency in the distribution of farming inputs, and currently Kapirim Portia District has over 27,000 farmers under the Farmers Input Support Program. Please.
They are still screening the farmers. You remember, maybe you recall last year we had 27,708. They have screened, the numbers come back to 27,000. And the new cooperatives, they have to pick also from there. But the system of screening they are using, they will remove all people on the penny who are working. They will not be eligible. Okay. Then on the new cooperatives also, they will screen the one on those schemes, on those who are still going on those, it means they are working, they have to be removed. They will only want people who are really vulnerable. But there are people who are capable enough to be able to buy their own fertilizer. That is maybe would have doing it in the old, and now they are able to. Some of them could be mere businessmen. They have money, but they want to subvent themselves. Those
Council has partnered with Alleged community support projects in village chicken production with the aim of unlocking the district. Mufurila Mayor Tanayeli Kamanga says that through its partnership, the council wants Mufurila district to be the best supplier in village chicken in the country and making sure the price of the chicken becomes affordable at every household. Mr. Kamanga says government has provided the Constituency Development Fund, which will help the district develop through decentralization. Speaking during the workshop for village chicken production at Council Chamber in Mufurila district, Mr. Kamanga says the market for village chicken is readily available. The issue which has been lacking is production and encouragement members of the community to work with council. And a later community support projects coordinator Alex Matale says community members need to take advantage of this project being implemented by the council in order to increase income at household and improve country economy.
Delicacies and on high demand, village chicken are now sought after, and entrepreneurs turning to village chicken farming to supplement their income. In the Copperbelt Province, Mufulira Municipal Council has partnered with Alleged Community Support Project in village chicken production with the aim of unlocking the district and the price affordable.
We are unlocking Mufulira. What are we looking at? We are looking at Mufulira to be one of the best areas and towns which will be able to feed the nation through village chicken. We want to make a chicken to be one of those meals of foods that will be cheap in Zambia.
Mayor added that through CDF and already existing market, this project will go through.
I think this CDF is money that can unlock Mufulira, because we know that we've got ideas, and this is what it means to go decentralization. The market is available. It's not only the Congo DR. The market isn't within. The problem has been production.
Alleged coordinator says community members should take advantage of this project.
be able to make money, which will help us to improve our personal economy and also add something to the national economy. It's high time we just seize this opportunity of village chickens and start producing, and then we'll be able to fight poverty as a nation.
And CDC chairperson for Kantanshi encouraged everyone to work with the council.
If we sustain ourselves through these projects that are being brought to us through cooperatives and clubs, please let us all join in and support and develop our district and in turn develop our country, Zambia.
It is such project that will address hunger, enhancing household income, and contribute to the nutrition security in the country. Haga Sinkolong reporting for Nice Simfra District, Copperbelt Province.
Livingstone Mayor Constance Moleabai has emphasized the need for all citizens to play a part in keeping the town of Livingstone clean. Speaking when she officiated at a cleaning exercise in Livingstone, Ms. Moleabai says a clean environment is vital in everyone's life, and hence it is necessary for everyone to take part in keeping it clean and representative from the tourist department, Kambole Sikatela aged communities to create a place that will be suitable for tourists that come into the town. On that note, we come to the end of our main bulletin, but before we go, we'll take a look at the headlines. Police held out a person with disabilities at Dumpling at the showgrounds. PF's recent victory in Luangwa district caused confusion in the United Party for National Development camp. Kalingalinga Catholic priest cautioned those in leadership to serve the poor, and government advised to double its efforts in creating a suitable environment for the youths. Mufurili Cancer partner with Alejo in a village chicken production. Thank you so much for having stayed tuned to our main bulletin this evening. Of course, you can catch us on our MUVI TV decoder and on Facebook social page, which is Ask Movie. For now, it's good afternoon. I've been your anchor. Good evening. I've been your anchor, Faith Malambo. Join me at exactly 21:15 for the headline bulletin. From to then, it's good evening and pleasant listening.